Alright guys, welcome back to Dailyblades. Today we've got a Brous Mini Division G10 handle model I wanted to talk to you about. I know this knife's been around for a little bit of time, and they have it in carbon fiber handles or grips, as well as the full-size division, and then you can get into Jason Brous's full custom divisions. But this is more of their base or production model. But it's just been an excellent knife for me. It's one I gravitate towards and like to carry on a regular basis. It has great flipping action, feels real comfortable in the hand. Really just love the design and overall lines and looks of this knife. Some of the Brous blades to me are a little too futuristic or fantasy looking, especially some of the ones I've seen lately. Nothing against some blades, I'm sure they're made extremely well. But just as far as their aesthetics go, they just aren't very pleasing to me. However, the ones that they produce that are aesthetically pleasing to me, I really like, and this happens to be one of them. I really think this just has really clean lines, really good contouring on the G10. Really like the cutout on the blade. It's all chamfered and smoothed around all the edges. So it feels real good. You can actually use that as a thumb opener, as well as, using the flipper tab. I really like how they put their Brous blades on the spine of the blade, and the numbered from the production line. This one particularly is 214 of 1,000. This is the satin blade G10 model. But just a really cool knife. Let's see, we lost focus there. There we go. Just a really cool knife from Jason Brous and Brous Blades. Let's go ahead and knock out some of the specs real quick. You're looking at overall length of roughly 8 1/4 inches. The blade length is coming in at 3.5 inches. It's a D2 blade steel, right around 3/16 of an inch, or a little bit bigger, a little bit more than 4 millimeter width on the blade thickness. Excuse me. The handle thickness is coming in at like 0.67 of an inch, I think is their specific spec. So, it's a little bit of a thicker knife. And that partly is due to these, oversized, heavy-duty, beefy stainless steel liners. And you can see that they're pretty heavily skeletonized on both sides. So they did a great effort to try and lighten the knife up. It's still coming in at about 5.5 ounces, which, to some is heavy. To me, like I've said, if you've watched my other videos, I wear blue jeans and typically a belt. So a knife that weighs 5, 6, 7 ounces isn't really a big deal to me. I prefer to have that little bit larger blade length if that means I'm carrying something that weighs a little bit more. Excuse me. It is a right or left hand tip up carry only. It's simply got, you remove the screw from this rearmost pillar, and there's actually a cutout right in the G10. I hope you can see that. And you would just swap that clip from left to right there with this lanyard loop hook. Which, that lanyard loop, I've never actually tried to thread anything through it. I'm not sure if you could fit 550 through it. Maybe if you smash the end of the 550, but it's going to be tight. But I don't run lanyards on every single knife that I own, so that's not really a huge deal to me. Certain ones I like to have them, other ones I don't. Being this is a little bit thicker, I'm able to get a good purchase on it with my index and thumb and pull it out of the pocket without any issues, no drag or nothing like that. Speaking of the pocket clip, as you might have noticed, it is a deep carry. So for those of you that like to, conceal your knife, and, people obviously that carry knives still know what it is in your pocket when they see that clip generally, but it's going to prevent any of that blade from being exposed, any of that handle being exposed and sticking up out of your pocket. So that's a huge +2 for those that like that deep carry option, and you're not having to go out and buy an aftermarket clip to accomplish that. Excuse me. So some of the reasons I really like this knife is really just because of the feel in the hand. That's one of them. it's a very angular and has good lines on it. And initially, when you see pictures of it, you would think, well, maybe it's not going to be comfortable in the hand. But for me, with my larger, fatter hands, it feels really, really good in the hand. I'm able to get it's like a 2-finger choil there. I don't know if you can see that. But I'm able to get my 2 fingers in there almost perfectly, and then the last 2 end up lining up on this jimping on the bottom side here, which that jimping is not only on the liners, but on the G10 as well. And it's pretty aggressive, very functional jimping, and you can really feel it when you get a nice purchase on it. While there is some jimping on the spine, if you take a look, it's almost recessed below the G10 and the liners. So while it's not super functional, I would say it's lends more towards aesthetics than anything. I can feel it though. It is there. It does offer a little bit of traction. Very limited amount of traction, but it is there. But being as you're using that flipper tab as a guard, I mean, there's no risk of coming forward or anything like that. So, but the thing I love most about this knife, why I gravitate towards it, why I carry it on a regular basis, is the action. This is just a fun knife to play around with. It just rockets out of there. Almost a free drop. You can light switch it. I tend to like to add a little bit of downward pressure to it, and it just comes out of there like a rocket. It's just one of those blades you can just sit here. And I'm doing that coming around a tripod and stuff, so it's a little bit of an awkward angle. But very cool knife. It's a really good knife. It's well built, good contouring, good lines. Go ahead and show you that. See, now that opening, you know, as far as you're trying to use it as a thumb hole opening, it is a little bit narrow, but you go ahead and get a little bit of meat of your thumb in there, and you can just go ahead and deploy it like that. So that does work as a thumb opening option as well. But it's just a cool, fun knife. I almost want to call it a little bit bulky or blocky just because it is a little bit thicker. But they have it contoured so nicely and it fits my hand so good, it's hard for me to call it that. But overall, I just really like the knife. I like carrying it. I like playing with it. And it's never let me down as far as its pivot system. The liner lock, I trust that 100%. It's extremely well built and well thought out of a knife. So if you're looking for something a little bit larger of a size to carry, this should be up on your list, because especially if you look in the secondhand market, initially these were over $300 when they first came out. I've seen them as low as $125, $150 on eBay, on some of the buy, sell, trade groups and stuff. And I think it's a great buy in that price range for a knife this size with a 3.5-inch cutting edge. Brous D2 is some of the best D2 on the market, in my opinion. Has great edge retention. It seems to not corrode quite as bad as some of the other D2 steels I have. So that's a bonus in my opinion too. As far as warranty service goes, I've never actually had to deal with them as far as sending anything in for warranty. I know I've heard some stories about people being unsatisfied with not so much the blade, but just how situations were handled when something needed to be sent in for warranty. That's not something I can really speak on just because I haven't had to deal with it. While I don't own a ton of the Brous Blades, there's a few of them that I do have, and they've held up good for me. So, but yeah, guys, so that's the Brous Mini Division Flipper with G10 scales. If you can get your hands on one, you know, I'd say go for it, give it a shot, see if you like it. I guess that's about it. All right, guys, until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.